Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a Spooky House. How cool is this? I actually dropped down my render distance to 4 chunks. I just want to. I love the fog that we saw last episode. Maybe we could use it, so I shrunk it down to 4. And look at that. Oh wow, it's like a proper Halloween-y like mist, and then the tree sort of comes in. What does the house look like? You just want to well, the paintings disappear, but yeah, that is cool. Hey, what about at night time? Time set night. That's pretty cool. It's just off night time. If we set to, I don't know, 17,000. There we go. Hey, that's pretty cool, right? Set to 9,000. Bing. Okay. Anyway. Let's we want to start working or carry on working on the large branches that we've got. What we want to do is we don't want to go too much higher with them anymore. We actually want to start curving them and then dropping them back down. Actually sort of arching them, if you like. So the way that we're going to do that is layer by layer, pretty much. What you want to do is the next layer here. I'm trying to do this in the best tutorial way possible. This layer here now hangs over the edge, and then the next layer that you build, you have the layer below slightly exposed. So we've got these blocks slightly exposed, but the ones on top again are going to poke just over the edge. Like that. And as you can see, the more that you do like this, at first it's only going to go up in a diagonal, but then you're going to get to a point where it's going to start to arch back down if you do it correctly. So we've got this one now. So we're sort of we're starting to flatten out. This next level we're going to make even flatter. So instead of going just 1 block wider, we're going to try and do sort of a couple of blocks, 2, maybe 3 blocks wider. So I'm going to sort of do a sort of larger sort of platform, if you like, first. And build this one. Like that. So we've sort of got to this flat point, and then it can start sort of dropping down. That looks a little bit square there, though. Like that. And to cover the top up, you just sort of do the same pattern as before. You make just each layer slightly smaller than the last. So we do that one. I'm gonna extend this a little bit further so we have something to place onto. It's a little bit tricky to begin with here. It's a little bit tricky. It will get easier once you get started with the decline of the branches. I promise you it will get easier. Damn weather. Weather clear. Go away. Oh, you gotta laugh. It's like cold callers, isn't it? Do you guys ever get cold callers? Phone your home phone. We get them here. No joke. Maybe 12, 14, 16 times a day. On a bad day, you might get 1 or 2 an hour. No joke. Okay? Especially towards the evening, strangely enough. The evening seems to be more the perfect time for cold callers that want to call. And if you don't, nobody likes them. Nobody wants to be called when they're not expecting a call, right? If you're expecting a call, the last thing that you want is someone trying to sell you, I don't know, have you had an accident? We can claim you compensation. That stuff. Nobody wants that, right? Especially if you're waiting for a more important call. But if you do get them, don't get annoyed. Multiple reasons. Number one, I know it's hard to, but number one, it is their job. That's their job. They're only doing it to try and make a little bit of money, try and make a little bit of a living. And I know it's very frustrating, but it's only their job, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But secondly, if you get annoyed, it can sort of ruin your day a little bit, and you don't want to do that. So what I do is I do sort of accidentally sometimes end up winding them up. But they shouldn't have called me, in my opinion. It's It's my phone line. They called me, so I feel like I'm obliged to just wind them up at least a little bit. So I had a call the other day, and I said, hello, is Mr. AJ there? I said, yes, he's there. Now, I'm doing an Indian accent, not because I'm being racist, but because the person on the phone was Indian. That's the only reason. I'm not. It's not a racist thing to just talk how the person was. It's just an impression. So I said, hello, is Mr. AJ there? And my Indian impression is so bad anyway that you probably couldn't even tell. And I said, yes. He said, I've got a few questions about your household. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay then. And he started, and I said, look, and I was a little bit sort of tired and annoyed. This was about 10 o'clock at night. And I said, look, mate, I said, one day, and I was very kind. I said, look, mate, I said, one day you will understand, you will comprehend, you'll get into your head that we don't want you to call here. I don't want you to call my house. And he went, but why? Like proper said, but why? And I said, because I don't want you to. I don't want to speak to you. I don't care what you have to say. I don't want to buy what you're selling. And you know what he said back to me? He went, you can go to hell. Yeah, rude, right? Obviously, if I was someone with maybe a little bit less control and I wasn't quite as laid back as I obviously am, I would probably have got really, really annoyed and tried to send in a complaint to the company. Like, that would have done a lot of good anyway. But I had to burst out laughing. He hung up the phone on me, which happens actually a lot more than you would think. Most of the time, you're the one that hangs up on the cold callers. But when the cold caller calls me, they always hang up first. I won't hang up because it's not my money that they're spending. It's their own money. It's the company's money that they're spending. It's not mine. So I'm not really bothered how long I spend on the phone with them sometimes, especially if I'm not doing anything. I'm not in the middle of recording a video or something like that. And, but yeah, but why? You can go to hell. He was angry, proper angry. I don't know why. I was just winding him up. If he can call my house without me wanting to him to call, then surely I should be allowed to at least wind him up just a little bit. But I done it in a way that wasn't rude. At least I don't think I was rude. Do you guys think that was rude? I don't think it was rude. It might have been rude to do such a bad impression of an Indian accent. But yeah, I don't know. What was the other one? I had a Microsoft guy call once. Well, he was apparently from Microsoft. And he said, I've had a few of these in the past. They're probably one of the most common types of cold callers. But the computer engineer ones that actually seem to be at least getting more and more rare. They were a lot more common. And they're my favourite ones because They always starts off with, hello, we've been monitoring your computer usage, and you have a virus on your computer. Did you know this? Did you know that you have a virus on your computer? That's no accent in particular this time. This is just like a mix of like a million accents put together because I'm terrible at accents. And I know my way around a computer. I obviously I know computers. You guys know computers. You guys know when there's a virus on your computer. I'm sure you do antivirus scans every so often at least, just to check and maintain your computer. If you don't, then you really should. Keeps your computer running at least somewhat of a half decent speed. And so I said, no, I didn't know. Is it a bad one? What virus have I got? Is it ill? Oh, it's a very, very bad virus, they say. It's a Trojan virus, which is a real type of virus. So they know their stuff a little bit at least. And they say, are you near your computer now? I say, yeah, I'm always near my computer, aren't I? So yeah, I'm near my computer. He says, right, I need you to click on the Windows key, which is like the button, well, probably on that side, you know, the bottom in the corner, if you're on a Windows computer. we'll get to that bit more on that in a minute. So anyway, what I like to do, and you guys are going to laugh at this, I like to go and stand in front of my microwave when they call. So they say, "Can you see the Windows key?" And I say, No, I can't. "You can't see the Windows key." I said, "No." He says, "What can you see?" And you say, I always say something like, "I see defrost, chicken," because my microwave has like different meats written on it, so like you can turn it to what I call chicken mode or beef mode, and it'll like I don't know why, like if you, who cooks a chicken in the microwave? I think it's for defrosting, and it's got like the weights and stuff like that. So I say like, I can see chicken, I can see defrost, I can see 30 minutes, I can see alarm. And it throws them completely off. And half of them will just hang up right there because they just will be completely confused and angry that I'm not doing what they say. And some of them will be completely blown away, and they'll say, "Well, you what?" And it goes on for ages. It's not as funny when you talk about it, but when you do it, it's absolutely hilarious. If they ask for your date of birth, just say something so old. Just go like 1847, which makes you like 150 odd years old or something like that. And I done that to one the other day, and he went, "Sorry, sir, you're older than my computer can go back to." And I chose an age that was so old that the computer that he was on, the date of birth system just said, "No, he's not that old." Oh, but yeah, wind them up, play with them. Well, not wind them up, have fun with them. Some of them actually take it really well. Some of them will sort of play and join in. I had one that enjoyed it. He asked what my job was, and I said that I was an animal inventor. And he instantly knew that I was, trolling. I was messing with him. But he just played along, and he was like, "Oh, what animals have you created?" And I said, "Well, you've got there is a real animal called the bullfrog, which is just a frog, but they call it the bullfrog. I'm sure you've all heard of the bullfrog." And I said, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a real one. So I combined the DNA of a bull with the DNA of a frog, and I made a ginormous frog that runs at you if you're wearing red. And he laughed, and he had a little bit of fun. And eventually, like always, he hung up first because I don't like to hang up on them. I think that's rude. So I just let them hang up on me when they're ready. And but he took it well. He knew that I wasn't going to buy anything or answer his questions seriously. I was going to be no help to his survey whatsoever. But at least he took it well, and I appreciate that. Anyway, I've been rambling on here for way too long. This is looking really cool, though. I'm actually getting better at talking and building at the same time. We've got 4 of them arching over now. I actually like them all, apart from the first one. The first one is a little bit too thick as it gets towards the end, so I'm actually going to trim some of this off, trim some of it away, make it a little bit thinner. I like how you go underneath the tree when it goes dark, like, just as you sort of go underneath it, the light all changes. Oops. I think I like that a little bit better, right? Yeah, 100% better. Yeah, looking really cool. I know we've got the thinner branches, which are sort of throwing us off a little bit at the moment, but as we make more and more thin ones, they'll actually really, really help. That's looking so cool. So the last one is this top one. It sort of first goes off in that direction, but then I want to actually curve it towards us, because this is the only part of the sort of tree that doesn't really have a branch hanging over it. That side has a branch, that side has a branch, that side has a branch, but this side doesn't. So it'll just sort of arch over this way. Let me do this off camera because we're getting a little bit carried away here by the cold callers stories, and I should be back. Okay, that last one is in. It's like a quiff, like an Elvis Presley quiff, isn't it? To conclude, though, on the cold caller stories, before I forget, more importantly, don't be rude to them. if you're rude to them, it only gets them upset, which only in turn makes you upset and you angry that they called. Just take it with a pinch of salt. They're only trying to do a job. And secondly, to conclude, do not impersonate anybody. Like, don't say that you're a police officer or that you're from the FBI or anything stupid like that. I see some people on YouTube do that kind of thing, and they don't care anyway. It doesn't bother them. They're just being told to call you, and saying that you're from the FBI or from the police isn't going to help matters. It's not going to stop them from calling or prevent them from calling in the future. It's just going to make you look like an idiot and a liar, and potentially get you in trouble. It's impersonation of impersonating a police officer, for one, is illegal anyway, and there must be an even worse law for impersonating like an FBI agent. I don't know what that would fall under. But yeah, it's not going to be fun for you if you get caught out. So now off these big branches, like how we started last episode, what we're doing is we're adding thinner branches, like sticks more than anything. Of them, we're trying not to keep them straight. We don't want to keep them going down at one level. We want to have them at different orientations, different gradients of drops. Some sort of drop slower, some drop faster, some stay like a little bit straighter. Like this one's probably going to be just a little bit straighter more than anything. Some split off twice, some split off only once, some split off more than that many times. And you want to just do this everywhere. Why are we doing this? Well, for three reasons. One, it's going to make the tree look better. Number two, it's going to make it easier to actually place leaves on. We're going to have some spots to begin placing our leaves on instead of just sort of randomly putting them on. We're going to have some locations for decent leaves to be able to be like decent areas for them to go on. And I can't remember the last reason. There was another reason as well. It's probably something to do with making it look better. Like from underneath, when you look up, if you go underneath like a real oak tree or something like that, there's not just floating leaves everywhere, is there? They're always connected to twigs. And like Minecraft, that just has floating leaves everywhere and like one trunk up the middle. They very rarely have branches unless you grow one of the big types of trees. But there we go. We've got a really nice spread of branches here. If I go above it, have we got pretty much a circle? Like if that's the middle of the circle, we do. It's pretty even all the way around. That's a pretty good thing. I love this fog, man. It's so good, so good. But now we can actually get our leaves on here. Leaf. I think I'm going to stick with the spruce. It's a nice dark leaf, a little bit more of an Evilise to me looking leaf. And there's some really simple placements that's going to help you fill this tree up in a really cool way. Step number one is on top of every log where you want leaves, put a leaf. Just on the top block to begin with. Obviously you don't want them down there, but on the top of all these blocks, just on the top to begin with. We're going to do this layer by layer because believe me, it's going to help you in the long run. It's going to help this tree look really, really nice once it's finished. So just on the top surface, you're going to be placing a leaf on each and every one. Like this. Okay, so on the big branches, on the little branches, everywhere. Okay, like that. And already you can see that it's starting to look a little bit like a tree, even though it's just one layer of leaves just on the top. You're just going to do this. On the top, it's pretty much only going to be one layer of leaves as well, at least on this tree, because it's going to be sort of a willow tree is what we're sort of going for. Willows are very spooky Halloween style trees, and most of the leaves on a willow tree hang down. They're very sort of thin. Rain. I cleared it 3 times this episode. That's like 3 times in 15 minutes that it's rained. Isn't that nuts? But yeah, willow trees, the leaves are very heavy, so they hang down, and there's more leaves hanging underneath it than there are on top, which is why we're only going for leaves 1 block thick on the top of the blocks. So like those, fill those ones in. Have you got any more like that I've missed? I don't think so. And yeah, and even around the base, especially around the base, in fact, you want to have a few leaves. So go down all the way to the bottom here. and then start on your next log. I think we can probably start there. Do I want one at the head? Like there? We'll leave it there and we'll see. But yeah, not on top of the eyebrows though. Okay. I suppose I don't really have any more cooler stories. So I'm going to cut away now and I'm going to just put these on top of all the logs. And we'll be back for the next stage. Okay? I'll be back. It was just raining. I just cleared it. And as you can see, there's no other changing to clear weather messages. Why? Well, you won't believe the amount of trouble I've had between when I said I'll be back and now. For you guys, it was instant. For me, my mouse stopped working. I had to go all under my desk to find out why. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in and it worked again. Then my computer stopped working, so I had to reboot my computer. Maybe it was me talking about the cold. Maybe you shouldn't wind up cold callers. If you wind up cold callers, you're going to end up getting your computer frozen. So I restarted my computer. Then OBS, the program that I used to record my videos with, just wouldn't work. So I had to reboot it again and figure all that out. But we're finally back. And boom. Boy, does it look good. Looks like my render distance is sort of somewhat reset as well. I've just loaded into the world, which is why everything's sort of loading up. But boy, it's actually looking good. Back to the good news. It's looking pretty sick right now. This is just with leaves on the tops of the blocks. Now you might be able to guess what the next step is. That's right, it's leaves on the sides of all the blocks. You might be able to notice that I've gone like all the way down into the middle as well. All on the top where I would want leaves to be, on the tops of those blocks, all have leaves. Now the next step is on the side. Now the reason why I didn't tell you to do this from the beginning is because if you do that, if you try and do it all at once, it can actually be a little bit easy to get confused and to mess it up. Doing it this way in little stages makes it a lot easier to get it all correct first time without messing up. And the less things mess up, certainly the more fun experience it's going to be. As I have so gathered today. Oh, everything's fighting me today. Nothing wants to go right, does it? Oh no, but I shall prevail. I shall not give up in the face of giving up. I shall just continue and struggle through. There's the moral of the day. You can also go underneath the blocks as well. That is going to be my next step. But if you want to do it all at the same time and do the underside of the blocks as well, then you're more than welcome to. You just go underneath the blocks as well. Basically, what we're doing is we're surrounding each flat, flat edge of each log with one leaf block. No more, no less at the minute. We're just going round. We're just surrounding it all. So no log is specifically visible. Obviously, you're going to be able to just see through the leaves a little bit to see the branches and the twigs and everything like that. But it's not going to be actual visible logs. Not yet. What we will do afterwards is we might add more twigs after all the leaves are on as sort of a supporting cast, if you like. They're not really there for any reason apart from for looks, which is going to happen a lot with this tree from now on. It's going to be, a lot of it's going to be for aesthetical reasons and aesthetical reasons only. But as you can see, when you think that you've done it all on one side, you then like sort of step back and you're like, oh, I missed an absolute bunch of them. Which is again why I said do the top ones first and then go round and do everywhere else. It's honestly, guys, it's just so much easier. It really, really is. Because then you miss these bits and then you go on to the other side and you're like, oh yeah, I've missed this one, look, and I've missed these ones. It's just a slow process, but you'll eventually get there. Anyway, I think that I should probably end off the episode about now and figure out exactly what's going on with my computer. I've got it into a workable state to just finish off this video with. But I'm sure there's probably something dire going on inside that needs to be fixed. Hopefully it's nothing too bad that I need to get a whole new computer for. I certainly can't afford it, especially at this time of year with Christmas and everything coming up. I should start a GoFundMe page. Go get fund AJ to get a new computer. No, I would never do that. Alright, anyway guys, that is going to do it for this episode. I think this tree is really coming on nicely. If I just sort of finish off this little tiny area here, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to back off and just take a quick look and get an idea of what it's going to look like once you've gone around the entire tree. There's so many that I've missed. But you can start to see, especially on this branch here, that we're looking already pretty willowy. And we haven't even done like the larger hanging down sections yet. But it's looking pretty sick. If you guys enjoyed it, then hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the cold caller stories. And if you've got any, then let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Bye!